Hi guys, it's Mary. Talk to Me Tuesday, January 29th, 2019. This should be short. I just have three things that are on my mind today from the last week. One is my first UFO of the year. I think I showed you last week or the week before that the first UFO on my list is my stained glass, which I made at least 10 years ago. I showed it to you and I told you it just needed to be quilted, and so here it is quilted. Now, I'm very excited about this for a couple reasons. One is it's my first UFO for the year, and I'm going to finish a UFO this week. This is like a miracle. It's such a good feeling. I can't even imagine you people who sit down, start, and finish a quilt don't understand how good this feels. That this is a miracle. I made this as a practice piece over 10 years ago, like I said, and it was just a top. And so what I've done now, since I made my list, and this is number one UFO on it, is I got some backing and I got some batting, and it's a wall hanging, so I don't care much about this, except I am probably going to use it to also bind it. But the most exciting thing is, let me show you my very favorite part of this, if I can find it. And some of you may know what it is. Oh my goodness. I've lost my favorite part of this. Here it is. This is my favorite part of this. Ta-da! Those of you who don't know what that is, I went to my quilt shop on Friday, and the ladies there let me and helped me long arm quilt this. And this is my test piece to make sure everything was in there, and they were quite impressed at how square this was, top and bottom. They said that's unusual, which I thought it was kind of mandatory. I didn't know you didn't have to obey all these rules. And I got it quilted. Now, the other thing that kind of surprised them was I went in and they said, well, you know, the hardest part of this is choosing the pattern. And I said, well, doesn't this machine come with a bunch of patterns, edge to edge? Yes, it does. Well, I hear they have one called Broken Glass. They'd not heard of it. They said, let's see if we have it. They looked and they have it, and they said, well, what's it look like? I don't know. But when I heard that there was one named Broken Glass, I thought, if that's properly named, it would be great for this, right? Turns out it is properly named. It's the only one I looked at. We decided on it in 2 seconds, and that's the pattern. So I don't know if you can see it on here. But it's just an edge-to-edge that's pieces of broken glass, and I just think it's perfect for this. So we took our time, got through this, and it was just so much fun. I couldn't even believe it. Best day I've had in a long, long time. And so I have quilted this. Ta-da! It's, I am going to bind it, and maybe today. I'm going to bind it in the next couple of days, and that's going to be checked off my list as UFO number one. So that is a pretty darn exciting thing, and a great day on Friday. Just a great day. Now, this Thursday and Friday, could I have waited, but I'm not going to. I would know how to machine bind this, because that's going to be part of my training on Thursday and Friday. I'm going to spend 2 days on Purse Stitcher and Art and Stitch, and so I'm going to learn lots more wonderful things. At this point, I can edge to edge, which I've already done manually. I'm certified on a 10 Lizzie, and I have a Gamble up at the forum, but this is on the computer, and it's just a game changer, of course, and that's so much fun. So I like going over there and visiting them with Avante and quilting. I just had a great time. So that's number one. Number two is I do want to show you UFO number two, because that's the next one on my. I have like 3 kind of lists going, and they're all one list, but 3 things in my mind, and one of them's UFOs, and I'm going to take them one at a time. That was number one. Number two is one, you know, I know you guys remember, I don't know, 12 years ago when I pieced this. I'm sure you remember, because I pulled it out of the closet and thought, did I do that? I did. I'm sure it's in the video. Anyway, this is a king-size quilt top that took me a day or less. It's 112 inches square. So when I first measured it and thought, holy cow, this needs to be edge to edge. And then I thought, no. This is 112 by 12 inches of practice squares. What all this is, it's like cheating. All this is a package of cake layers alternating with a package of a jelly roll in the same fabrics. And so what I did was alternated kind of a modified rail fence rail, whatever that's called, 3 jelly rolls plus a square in the middle, and then that and more cake. I said this a minute ago. What was it? Layer cake. So it's all in these fabrics, and it's all just squares matched up with jelly rolls, and it is it's symmetrical. You know, I have a problem with random. And so if you look at the reason I had to go to 112 inches was not only to finish the layer cakes and jelly rolls, but to it was the design. So I started in the middle and went out with the design, and so I couldn't stop at a rectangle because it wasn't going to be that square. So anyway, 112 inches square. And look at these squares. These are 9-inch squares that I can play with. And so hopefully next week, once I learn how to do fun things in squares, I am going to play with this when I have access to a machine. And so I think, all subject to change, I should really hang this on the wall and stare at it for a few days. But, you know, if I live with it for a few days, it'll become very clear what I want to do. What I'm thinking is, like, this fabric has, I don't know how many blocks of 9-inch squares. I'm thinking of doing all of the squares in each color the same. And then this pattern would have all of this pattern done the same. But I don't know. You know, I'm flexible. We'll see. And I don't know why that seems to be all squares. Anyway, there is definitely pattern to it. And that is the next UFO on my list. So I'm going to finish a king-size quilt, which was easy to do because I cheated on it, but going to be awesome to practice putting designs in squares. So I don't want to get too versatile on it because then it won't match itself even, but I don't want it to look like a I don't want to take a patterned design and turn it into a scrappy quilt. So I'm going to stay with some structure, but I'm very, very, very excited about that. By the way, I can't see worth the darn today, so I couldn't get this contact out last night, and by this morning it had scratched my eye all up, and when I finally took it out, it was just like, finally, but it does burn a little bit. Look at my eye. It's all scratched up. So I can't, I've got my glasses here, but I can't see today, so I'm kind of blind here. And then the third project was, I told you last week about my master plan to do 102 blocks in 60 weeks. This is the 52 blocks in 50 weeks overlapping with the 50 blocks in 50 weeks, and it turns out to 102 blocks in 60 weeks. And tomorrow will be week 13 of 50, and this morning was 3 of 52. So I've got, by tomorrow, I'll have 16 blocks. Right now I have 15 or something like that. Anyway, I have made 5 of the blocks. They're easy peasy, and the 50 blocks, I think, is the one that is, the 50 blocks is a 12.5 inch unfinished, but the 50 block, I've got it backwards. One of the challenges is a 6.5, and one is a 12.5. And I'm making them all 12.5, and I'm making 5 of each block. And as I told you, I had this thought in my head that if I could take 4 of each block and put them together, then I would have a 24-inch square, and then I would also, at the end of the day, have one of 102 blocks. But when I get these 4 of each block, it would be a couple of weeks before I could make a quilt out of them. Well, darn if the plan wasn't working. I have made 5 blocks and I'm putting together a quilt. So it's a throw and I'm happy about it. These are my 5 blocks sitting right over my neglected LSU quilt. So this is, I think I'm going to name it Tic-Tac-Toe, and it's turning out to be a Tic-Tac-Toe because I've got these 5 blocks. And so I'm going to put 4 of these in alternating corners. This in a corner, 4 of these, and then 4 of these. If you place them one way, they make an X, but that would leave me with 2 X's and a hashtag. If you put them the other way, they make an O. So there'll be a big O, 4 X's, these random in there, and then a row of 4 of these through the middle. And I'm going to stop right here because I put this, it's on EQ8, but it's really not in good shape. Here's what it looks like. Hang on. So here's the top row, or the bottom row, whichever it is. There's going to be this. And then it's going to be stripped in black. And then this is the other half of it, except I'm going to undo this and switch top or bottom so that it's making an O instead of an X. And I need a sash in here. And then in the middle, I'm just going to have my 4 hashtags going across. And it's going to just be, by the time I get the border on it all, it's going to be a nice size throw, and it's going to be tic-tac-toe. And so that's going to be ready to quilt in the next couple of days, and it also is going to be a good practice quilt for quilting because all of these are squares, triangles, and rectangles, and they're all solids. And so that's going to be a really fun piece to, I don't want to practice on scraps and just end up with orphan blocks that don't look right and don't match anything. I want to practice on my new UFO number 2 and this one. And my 102 blocks is paying off because here it is. We're in the 3rd week of January, and I've already got we're, 13 weeks in, and I've already got a throw, but I'm behind. So when I can make 5 of these blocks in a day, easy peasy with my other work. And so it's really, the plan is definitely paying off. And by the way, this is elephant. I told you guys last night I was doing white, black, robin's egg, blue, which I haven't started yet because those are going to go in their own little throws, and elephant, and that is elephant. So anyway, that's what I'm up to. It's coming together very well. My evil plan is working out, and I do like that I was able to pick 5 of these that coordinated into tic-tac-toe, and then the next 4 I'm gonna pick them from the ones that I have, so that the next 4 or 5 will go with its other coordinating. These are the hashtag, the X, and this one are from 50 weeks, and this one are from 52 weeks. So you can tell they have a kind of different style, but I'm going to get them all sorted out to where I'm going to have enough for another throw in a couple of weeks, if not less. And then I'm still holding off on my whole 102 of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. 102 12-inch squares is going to be much bigger than a bed, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do about that when that time comes. But anyway, just so you know, my wacky plan is coming to fruition, and this is the first throw to prove that that's going to be okay. I have not worked on any of my other projects because I've been a little bit busy with these. So anyway, that's all I got for you. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.